Episode 112 of Royally Quack is now here. How's it going, Cody?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm pretty good. I can't complain. It's been a very interesting hockey season this year.
Yeah, I'm still a little heartbroken from the other night.
I could see that. I'm sure there's a lot of Duck fans just feeling the same way you do.
It was
disappointing because they had played so hard and so well for 5 games, and it's just like they didn't have it.
Yeah. And it wasn't our young players either, seemed like.
I think it was all the players pretty much. It's not their year.
I think the Ducks went farther than a lot of people expected.
I would say more than a lot. I'd say most.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Why don't we do what we did last week? I'll do the game recaps, and then we'll do news, and then we'll go on from there.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to talk about Game 4 at the Pond. I believe that was last Sunday, Mother's Day. So this was a very interesting game. Beckett Seneca, we finally score a power play goal. After being 0 for 11 in the first 3 games against Vegas, we finally got on the board with a power play goal, and it's Beckett Seneca. And he does what I've been telling them to do. Just shoot the puck. Or as Mom says, shoot the damn puck. So,
is that what Mom was yelling at the game? Mom was yelling that at the game?
No, but you even said that's what she says, and she even said in the comments last week. And I'm pretty sure I probably heard her on the other night too. So, but yeah, Beckett Seneca gets his 4th goal of the postseason on the power play. Alex Chlorn gets his 5th assist, and Cutter gets his 4th assist, and it's 1-0 Anaheim. But then, like, not even 2 minutes later, Vegas gets a power play, and then they get a goal. See, yep, there it is. Mom says, "Yes, I did."
Just before you go on, I got you know how you get memories on Facebook every once in a while?
Yes.
It was a memory of a cuss jar and a shoot the puck jar. I maybe should start that, because I think I could probably buy a Mercedes within about 1 or 2 seasons with the way how many times Mom says shoot the puck.
Yeah. You'd be a billionaire if it was me there too. I'm pretty sure, and I can hear it in the crowd on the other night, but we'll talk about that later. Before I move on, we do have a couple of people on the Instagram chat from Ice Halo Rally Angel. She says, "Cheers, guys, sending big love." And then Bari Legend says, "Good morning, guys. It was awesome to see you at the Ducks game, Cody." Yes, it was very awesome to see you there the other night. That was against the Oilers, though, but still always great to see him. All right, now back to Game 4. Pavel Dorofeyev gets his 5th of the postseason on the power play. What a shock. Mitch Marner gets his 8th assist, and Jack Eichel gets his 11th assist, and it's 1-1 right now. And then Mikael Granlund gets on the board with his 4th goal of the postseason, assist from Jeffrey Viel, his 2nd, and it's 2-1 Anaheim after 1 period. We move on to the 2nd period, and Brett Howden, man, what a postseason he's having so far, gets his 7th goal of the postseason, and now we're tied 2-2, and that was at the 4:04 mark. But then Alex Killorn gets his 4th goal of the postseason on the power play. Cutter Gauthier gets his 5th assist, and Beckett finally gets his 1st assist of the postseason. Wow, I did not expect Beckett just to finally get his 1st assist of this postseason at Game 4 of the 2nd round. So now the Ducks are up 3-2, and Joe Quenneville did something different this game. He switched the 3rd pair, defensive pair. He had Ian Moore and Olin Zellweger playing the third D pair, which that's what I've been asking for this whole time. Instead of having Ian Moore on playing forward, he had him on defense where he's supposed to be. And look what happens. Ian Moore gets a goal, his first of the postseason, and it makes it 4-2 Anaheim. And he had Cutter Gauthier with his sixth assist, and Olin Zellweger with his first assist, his first career playoff point. And it's 4-2 Anaheim, and that was at the 3:43 mark in the third period. And then you know what I should have done? I should have put all my money, and I'm not a huge gambler, but the way the broadcast was, I should have put all my money down for an anytime goal for Thomas Hertl, because I swear every time he touched the puck, Thomas Hertl has a 28 game goalless drought, he can get it any. I swear every time he touched the puck, it's every game. It was like I'm like, wow, well, he's gonna score. It's obvious because they won't shut up about it. And look what happened. He scores. It was a garbage time goal for him, but sometimes just getting that one goal sets you free, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So the game ends 4-3 Anaheim. So now the series is tied 2-2. And then we go to game 5, which is back in Vegas. Let me pull up that one. And this was an all-around, like I said, the Ducks should have won this one, but they gave it away. We're going to go into the scoring right now, but Beckett Seneca again starts scoring for the game, his 5th goal of the postseason on the power play. See, like I said, I think I said it on the Ducks Digest one. All you need to do is it's like a ketchup bottle. Once you finally get that ketchup flowing, it starts going. With the power play. After going 0 for 11, now they keep scoring on the power play now. Cutter Gauthier gets his 7th assist and McTavish's 4th assist, and it's 1-0 Anaheim at the 12:36 mark. Next up, Pavel Dorofeyev again on the power play, his 6th goal. Thomas Hertl gets his 3rd assist, and Eichel gets his 13th assist, and we're tied 1-1. And that was at the 16:13 mark. Then we move to the third period. Thomas Hertl scores. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, just like I said, you just get that one goal, and boom, now it starts flowing. Thomas Hertl gets his 2nd of the postseason, and now it's 2-1 Vegas. And this is in the third period. We had no goals in the second period. I forgot to mention that. But in the third period, the Ducks are down 2-1, and then with like less than 5 minutes left, what a beautiful tic-tac-toe play this was. It was McTavish to Cutter to Olin Zellweger. He bobbled it a little bit, and then he sniped it top right-hand corner, and it was just a beautiful shot, and you just saw his face. His face was like, I'm not going to do it again. Don't ask. But
do it again.
No. But he ties it up 2-2, and then we go into overtime. And the reason why I say the Ducks gave this one away, I should say one person really gave it away, was Chris Kreider. He had a turnover for the first goal for Vegas, and that let him score on the power play. He had a chance to just clear the puck and he didn't. And then on this one, he had a chance to clear the puck again and didn't. So Pavel Dorofeyev gets his 2nd goal of the game, and it's the overtime winner, and Vegas wins 3-2 at the 4:10 mark. So now the Ducks are down 3-2, and it's not looking pretty. That was a tough one to give up. That was the one where the Ducks needed to get that overtime goal, and they just couldn't get it done. And it was just not pretty. You could tell totally tell like it took one out of the Ducks. So now the Ducks are down 3-2, and now we play game 6 at home. And I don't want to talk about this one really. Can we just skip game 6? Oh, Adam, I was at the game.
That's why I'm laughing.
I want to skip this one too. All around, just this was a heartbreaking game. Total heartbreak. Like, to see Mitch Marner score that early, like that at the 102 mark, he scores he pretty much gets the breakaway, gets past the Ducks defender, and just Dostal falls for the fake. I mean, who else wouldn't? And puts it between his legs and scores. Even that's what it even says right here, between the leg shot, and it gets his 7th of the postseason. Wow, this hurts.
I mean, it was a pretty goal.
No, we don't talk about
Mitch. It was the way he did it. I mean, showed his talent. I mean, granted, it was against your team. I would have thought that was a pretty goal if it was against the Kings. I mean, I have to appreciate it. So, I mean, I'm not bashing what happened. I know what happened, but you just got to give something its due when that was a pretty goal.
No. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one. The Ducks are on a power play, but God, it was probably one of the worst power plays I've seen the Ducks have, and it didn't help because Brett Howden scores shorthanded. Yeah, that's right. Shorthanded. Gets his 8th of the postseason, and guess who gets the assist on that? Mitch Marner. Wow. I would have never guessed after how much crap he took over in Toronto that he would be leading the points in the postseason right now. So maybe it really was just Toronto. But so now it's 2-0 Vegas, and that was at the 8:30 mark. Let's see, what did Adam say? I don't know why my mouse. There you go. It was a pretty goal. The sad part was the Ducks giving up another high danger chance on the first shot of the game again. Yes, we're gonna.
That's true, Adam.
The Ducks
said that was said just exactly how it happened.
Yeah, I believe out of the 12 games, I want to say the 12 games the Ducks played, I want to say 9 out of the 12 that I want to say Dostal gave up the first shot on goal.
9?
I want to say it was pretty high.
Okay, you may want to just check that.
But I mean, it happened too often. It happened way too much. Let's just say, yeah. Adam's on a roll. Matthews to Anaheim. We'll talk about that later. And then just it was funny because I was talking about Shea Theodore before the game started because some guy was wearing a Clayton Stoner jersey. I'm like, wow, that brings me back to the worst trade in Ducks history. And everyone looked at me. I was like, wow, nobody knows the history of the Ducks. Where the main reason why Shea Theodore is a Vegas Golden Knight is because Vegas wanted Sammy Vatanen. And the Ducks were like, no, we'll work something out. So like, hey, how about this? You trade us Shea Theodore and we'll take Clayton Stoner instead. So that's how pretty much, Shea Theodore became a Vegas Golden Knight. And then he scores a power play goal against us in Game 6 and makes it 3-0 Vegas. And that was all in the first period. All in the first period. So then we moved to the second period, and the Ducks played a lot better in this period, but it just wasn't enough because we only got the 1 goal on the power play from Mikael Granlund, his 5th of the postseason. Troy Terry got his 8th assist, and Leo got his 7th assist. It is 3-1 Vegas. Things are looking a little bit better, but then Pavel Dorofeev gets his 8th of the postseason in the third period, and makes it 4-1 Vegas, and then almost, like the 13:32 mark, Pavel Dorofeev again. Man, that guy can just score, can he?
Yeah.
And
there's more about him in Kings news.
Yeah, I saw that. And that's your final 5-1. Vegas wins the series 4-2. Like I said, I am bummed that the Ducks lost because I think they should have won this series, but at the same time, you know, you got to get the wins early, and the Ducks didn't. They should have won the first game. They should have won the game 5. I mean, that could have been it right there. You know, if you win those other games, especially when Vegas was not the better team, the Ducks were the better team. But after, I want to say, after game 3, it was a lot more even than we expected. After game 3, since the Ducks didn't get those early wins, it was almost all Vegas after that. Yeah, the Ducks had their stretches, but Vegas is the more veteran-heavy team. They have more playoff experience, and that's what happens when you don't. I'm trying to think of the word. You don't get the point of the goal. The goals, you don't get the wins as early as than you want. And as Adam says, I'd go back and give up Vatanen. Oh yeah, I would too. I already knew that right away. Like when that trade happened, I was like, this was stupid. I would have rather kept Theodore than Vatanen. So I 100% agree.
Remember when that happened, I told you that was a mistake.
Yep, and I agreed. Unfortunately, the Golden Cheaters just expressed the youth of the Ducks. Sad loss. Great season. Extremely hopeful for the season. Oh, exposed. Just yeah, they did. I would say they exposed more of the veterans because I don't think the youth played bad for the Ducks. It was, I mean, there was some there was one play I remember in this game. I was so mad because the Ducks were getting the Ducks were on the power play, and like they were getting chances, and they were either just missing or Carter Hart was just making great saves on the power play, and and I don't know what John Carlsson needs to do with his stick or passing, but I noticed it happened a lot, and especially in this series, where like he would pass and it would just like he had zero power. Like say you're playing, MLB the show, like the video game, and your guy has zero power, and you just swing and it just goes 2 feet. That's what it felt like when Carlsson was trying to pass sometimes. Like he would do this full on and it would barely trickle off his stick. And then it would turn over and then it would just ruin the whole momentum of the power play. They had Vegas hemmed in. They had you could tell the penalty kills were getting tired, and that just ruined the whole power play right after that. It happened multiple times with John Carlsson. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a stick or he just doesn't have power in his pass, which I have a hard time believing. So what's going on there? Because that stuff cannot happen. He tried to rush the pass to make a play and try to get ahead of it and didn't settle into his game. Yeah. So, like I said, there was a lot of things that could have been done different in these games. And in all honesty, makes me wonder, if Dostal was the Dostal we know, not this Dostal that we've seen the last 2 months. I feel like Dostal really hasn't been himself either. The defense isn't good, but we've all seen how much better he is back there. I'm just gonna chalk up to he just had an off second half of the season, because we all know he's so much better than that. I guess I don't remember what his save percentage was, but I can tell you it was probably not very high and not even close to average. So, but that's it for the game recaps. I don't even want to go over all the stats. I wanted to get through this as fast as possible.
Okay.
But that's it for that. Now we'll go into team news. I'll let you go first since I've been talking majority of the time.
Okay. No worries. I'll take over for a little bit. I could tell you're frustrated.
Yeah.
So, my Kings news, starting off with, they're closer to the reality of being able to host an outdoor game on the beach per at Mare NHL. Wouldn't that That would be pretty cool.
I would want to go to that game so bad.
Yeah, I remember when. Well, was there a game at Anaheim? There was, right? Or was it at Dodger Stadium?
It was Dodger Stadium, yes.
And it was $300 to go to the game, and you were sitting a million miles away. I go, I'd rather watch it on TV. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
I have $300 and you're not at least decently close, so now here's some good Kings news. We've talked about a lot of bad Kings news. Prospect Jared Woolley wins his third straight OHL championship and now moves to the Memorial Cup playoffs. Now, what people don't realize is he got traded from the London Knights to Kitchener.
Oh, he's a Ranger now.
Yeah. So, I mean, he won 2 with the London Knights, and then he gets traded to Kitchener, and then they win the OHL championship. And Jared Woolley was like a 6th or 7th round pick, I do believe. And they have high hopes for him. So, in fact, I think, wasn't he partners with Brustevich in London before
Yes.
he got traded?
Yes. They were.
Just like they did to the Oilers, the Las Vegas Golden Cheaters, they compliment the Kings' pursuit of Bruce Cassidy. They're not letting anybody talk to him because they still have him under contract. I guess they would just want to keep paying him, or they're too worried he's going to coach them. What other team he goes to, past where the Golden Knights are right now. Now I'm going to we're going to go back in the past just a little bit, back to 2019. And here's the question. And did the Kings totally screw up the 2019 draft? Well, the simple answer is yes. They took Turcotte with the number 5 pick, who has been injury prone and has played some NHL with them, but they could have had Maurice Seider, they could have had Trevor Zegras, they could have had Matt Boldy, they could have had Cole Caulfield or Thomas Harley. Any of those, I would have taken over Turcotte. Now, seeing what has happened. Then at pick 22, they took Bjornfoot, and Pinto was available, and there was a bunch of other better players available. Bjornfoot, I'm not even sure he's playing anywhere, maybe in the minors again. Then in the second round, they took Arthur Kaliev. And I could see why they did that. You had Turcotte, Zegras, and Kaliev. They helped USA beat Canada, 2-0 in the Junior World Championships. But they could have had Jackson Lacombe. Brink was still available. And then at 50, they took Fagemo, Jason Robertson, and here's where Doriev comes in. Protas from Washington was available. Just imagine they took any of those, 5 players, 5th, any of them. Instead of Bjornfoot, they took Pinto. Instead of Kaliev, I would say Lacombe. And instead of Fagemo, I obviously would take Robertson first. But, Doriev, he was a duck killer. Just imagine the different dynamic that would have had for the Kings if they would have just drafted better in 2019. And they've had a pretty strong draft history, but 2019 was totally screwed up. And we still know, obviously, that Bruce Cassidy's in the mix for Los Angeles head coaching job per Dennis Burstein and David Pagnotta. Nothing new on that. They need to jump on something because they're not going to make any moves until they get a coach. And we need to get jumping on a coach here pretty soon. Is it going to be Knobloch from the Oilers, or are we going to go some of those other directions we talked about last week? But that's Kings news for the week.
All right, we're gonna go to the comments real quick. Adam says Dolstall was making fundamental mistakes. Was great on most high danger fundamentals, but made a lot of bad positioning fundamental mistakes. High danger. And then he also it's Fagimo.
Yeah, I don't give a crap.
You should.
He's not even in the system anymore. So you can tell me that every time. I don't care. I'll say it how I want to.
Shame. All right. Now we're going to move on to Ducks news. So between games 4 and 5, Drew Hellison there was an injury to Drew Hellison. It was undisclosed. He was day-to-day per Quenneville. I mean, doesn't matter really now because there's no more games. But that's why you didn't see Hellison in the last 2 games. But honestly, like I said, nothing against Hellison, but I would rather have more there instead. And then the Anaheim Ducks have had exploratory talks on an extension with newly acquired defenseman John Carlsson since acquiring him, and that was per Chris Johnston. Now, what does that contract going to look like? I mean, right now he's just finishing up his long-term deal that was signed with the Washington Capitals. He was making $8 million a year. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere close to that. I was thinking like a 2-year, $6.5 million deal. He's 36 years old, so it'll take him till he's 38. So we'll see about that. But also the next bit of news is also saying from John Butchergross, saying John Carlsson likely won't be interested in taking a discount and likely won't be interested in a return to the Washington Capitals. So now what does that mean? Does that mean he's, I like Anaheim, I'm going to stay in Anaheim? Or is he going to hit the free agent market and try to go somewhere else where he probably could still make his $8 million a year? Or at least as close as possible? Because I think John Carlsson is great, and I want him to stay, but I don't think $8 million for a 36-year-old defenseman is the way to go.
How about 11 million?
Well, that's different. You're not re-signing him. That deal was done when he was still in his prime.
True. It's not a good deal anymore.
Sorry, my sinus is like just clogged up. So if you hear me sniffling, I'm sorry. Next bit of news is Beckett Seneca became the 6th player in NHL history to record a 3-game goal streak in the playoffs before age 21. You're going to hear a lot of Beckett Seneca stats right here. He was also the 4th rookie in the previous 25 years to record a 4-game goal streak in the playoffs per NHL stats, joining Austin Matthews in 2017, Logan Couture in 2011, and Nicholas Backstrom in 2008. And then Beckett Seneca's 5 goals ties Bobby Ryan from 2008 to 2009 for most by a rookie in a single playoffs in Ducks history. And that's right. Beckett Seneca had more postseason goals in one postseason than Quinton Byfield has had in 6 years. I had to add that one in for you, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And
there
some
goes,
other good
there
news.
goes your inheritance, son.
Oh, no. GM Pat Verbeek is a finalist for the Jim Gregory Award for the GM of the Year. And I could say this, I can see why he was easily a finalist. Because, like I said, a lot of people did not have the Ducks even making the playoffs this year. I mean, even I didn't even have the Ducks playing at the playoffs this year. And what they did is great. The first half of this deal looked really good with the Chris Kreider deal. I want to talk about him later, if I remember. Like you said, we got brought in Jacob Trouba. He brought in Carlsson. Bringing in Mikael Granlund. Drafting Seneca pretty much helped. Carlsson trading for Cutter a couple years ago, and then drafting Roger McQueen. Everything's starting to look really good. And Adam says, Mr. Overrated for Mr. Quinton Byfield. And we got a YouTube from Self-made since 89. Gudis is gone. No. So I talked about it on the Ducks Digest one yesterday. I published it. I talked about, there were talks about having Gudis. I forgot. Did I add? I didn't add that on my notes here. Sorry.
You did not.
Let's see if I can find the thing real quick.
A 1-year deal, maybe?
Yeah, according to NHL Report, let's see. It was from John Butchergross. He said on Frankly Hockey on May 11th, he says, I think Radko Gudis will come back 1 year, shorter money than 4 million. I don't see it happening. I guess I think Gudis is done with the Ducks. In my honest opinion, I just don't see him coming back. We have an abundance of right-hand shot defensemen, and a lot of them are already NHL ready. So I don't know what they're going to do. Right now they have their 3 right-hand shot defensemen that they've been going with mostly was Gudis, Trouba, and Carlsson. I think they should just need to sign one of those 3, just one. And I'm sorry if you hear my dog. I don't know why he's going crazy outside. But I mean, in the Ducks in the system, they still have Ian Moore, Drew Hellison, Tristan Luneau, Noah Warren. They have a bunch of other. These are all right-handed shot defensemen. So I don't think signing all 3 of them, Trouba, Gudis, and Carlsson, that's not going to help, unless you sign, like I said, Gudis to a 1-year deal and he's the 7th defenseman, and maybe making $1 million a year or something like that. I don't know, but in all honesty, like I said, I thank Gudis for his time here in Anaheim. He helped us grow, but I think we just need to move past him and name a new captain. I could see it being Carlsson or Lacombe being the next captain. So Leo Carlsson, by the way. So that's it for the GM. Eric Stevens from The Athletic says he doesn't rule out Pat Verbeek making a franchise-altering move for an established star this summer. He pointed out players such as Austin Matthews, Jason Robertson, Robert Thomas, and even Brady Tkachuk could be available in the trade market. So, I mean, it would be great to see a player like any of those players here in Anaheim. I think Austin Matthews, that's the only one I'm most afraid about. So
you're going to have to give up a lot to get him.
Yeah, and but he's always injured, and I don't know if it's going to fit here. Jason Robertson, I would love to see here. Robert Thomas, love to see here. Brady Tkachuk, I mean, after his last playoff performance, I don't think he had 1 goal in or anything like that. But makes me wonder what he could do in Anaheim with probably more established players around it. But that might even cost us a lot to bring him in. Self-made said, by the way, I'm a Leafs fan coming over to the pond. Tired of that organization's mess. Quack, quack. Well, glad to have you over here. He says, give the C to John. He spent more time behind Ovi without any chance at it. Yeah, but do we really want to go with another guy that's only going to have the C for 1 to 2 years? I'd rather give it to someone that's going to be like a long-term player. Like Lacombe, he signed an 8-year deal. Robert, this is the one I agree with the most. Robert Thomas for sure. Brady wouldn't be a good fit for this team. I mean, yes and no. I mean, he would help bring that scoring depth that we need on the wings, and and then if we get Brady, then we don't need VL because I would say just Brady's just a lot better player than VL. Kind of same play, just Brady is a lot better of a scorer.
He's
and everything.
A Bash brother who can score.
Yeah, there you go. So
let's talk it in Duckies.
Yeah, Duckies. Next bit of news is Jacob Trouba said that there were some preliminary discussions of an extension with Pat Verbeek at the deadline, but didn't get very far. He said, "We'll see where it goes. I've never been through the free agency situation, so I don't have a lot of answers right now." Let's see. Adam says, "One more veteran captain before giving it to the kids, unless they give it to Terry." I don't. Terry didn't even have an A at all this year. So, I mean, it still doesn't mean he wouldn't get it, but it just makes me think that, I would like, if they give it to Terry, I would love that. I think that would be the best answer, but it doesn't seem like he wants any captain role, it seems like. So that's what I was saying, like Leo or even Cutter. I like the way Cutter is, but he hasn't had the A. Killorn has 1 year left. I can't see him getting a C since he has 1 year left. But like I said, I if I had to put money on it, it'd be Lacombe or Leo. Last bit of duck news. Cutter Gauthier said he broke his L1 and L2 vertebrae in his back, and that was when he got hurt against the Maple Leafs at home, and he played through the playoffs with those injuries. It kind of really explains why he really wasn't himself. Like he seemed like, I don't know, we never really saw the Cutter Gauthier we know. So, I mean, but a lot of players are playing through injuries in the playoffs. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of the guys on Vegas had similar injuries like that. I mean, probably not as long as Cutter Gauthier had, but a lot of players are playing through injuries during the summer or during the.
Yeah, every time they get knocked out, you'll see more.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to hear from the other injuries. All right, and then Adam says, "Okay, it's settled. Give it to Dostal." After that playoff performance, I don't know if I would give it to Dostal.
Yeah, it wasn't impressive. He got outplayed by Carter Hart.
Yeah, he did.
Carter Hart actually played really well. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, he had a veteran defensive core at Vegas. They always have the defensemen.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to score against them. So the Ducks really had to work a little bit harder. And you know what? They're young. They have a lot more playoffs to play in the future, and are going to gain a lot of experience from this year's playoff run. So,
yep.
On to league news.
On to league news.
Well, Toronto fires Craig Berube, another coach available. After 2 seasons, a fresh start in a new direction is what new GM John Chaya said the team needs. Yeah, well, he's a question mark himself, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if getting rid of Berube is the issue. You take Marner out of that situation, and you take a highly talented player that made a lot of other players even better.
It makes me wonder if they did because that's what Austin Matthews wanted.
He wanted Marner gone?
No, Berube.
Oh. They said that wasn't that. I saw something about that. It wasn't that, they said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've all seen that, though. All right. Next up on league news is Bruins Charlie McAvoy gets a 6-game suspension for slashing Zach Benson in Game 6 of the first round. I'm sorry, he should have got more than just 6 games. He literally baseball swung right at Zach Benson.
Yeah, and Avs Josh Manson fined $5,000, which is the maximum you can get for hitting Wild center Michael McCarron with a blunt end of his stick. I saw that. The fine is the maximum allowed under the collective bargaining agreement. Manson also was assessed a double minor instead of a major and a game misconduct.
Sidney Crosby is representing Canada for the World Championships in Switzerland. And you know who they named captain of the Team Canada?
Celebrini.
Yeah, and even after Sidney Crosby was to the team, they still let Celebrini stay captain.
Did they?
Yeah.
Has that been settled for sure?
Yes, that's what I saw that the players after Sidney Crosby joined the team, I guess they talked with the team and they all agreed to have Celebrini stay as captain.
Okay. Well, you know what? He's a great player. He's going to
Yeah.
be a superstar, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Here's bad news for the Kings. The Columbus Blue Jackets have re-signed center Charlie Coyle for 6 years at $6 million AAV because he was on their radar because their center position needs some help.
Yeah. And there's not much left in the UFA side either. So
no, there isn't a whole lot.
So Vegas Golden Knights lose their 2026 second round pick for not opening their dressing room to the media. And coach John Tortorella has also been fined $100,000 for declining to speak to the media after knocking out the Ducks in game six. I don't know. I copy and pasted this, or you. I don't know if that was you. Yeah, but game 6 of the second round of the Western Conference semifinal playoffs. Wow. I guess they were warned before. That's why they got such
it wasn't. Yeah, it was more severe because they had been talked to about it. So
yeah, there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, well, now they don't have a second round pick for like 4 years straight.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
Cheaters never prosper. No. I'm sorry. I'm going to get in trouble for that one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Hurricanes have signed pending UFA Mark Jakowski to a 2-year, $1.85 million AAV contract extension.
Edmonton Oilers requested permission to interview Bruce Cassidy as they contemplate significant coaching staff changes, but were denied by Vegas per Frank Saravalli. Despite being fired, Cassidy still has 1 year remaining on his contract with the Golden Knights, requiring Edmonton to receive permission to speak with him.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays because they're not the only team that's interested in Cassidy. He's a great coach. It's going to be. I'm curious to what's going to happen with that. Are they going to want compensation? Maybe they want their second round pick back.
Adam says, just blame me for all the cheater comments. I'll take the hit.
Well, you did start the ball rolling. You did. Okay. So the Oilers have relieved Chris Knobloch of his coaching duties.
Yeah, not shocked.
That team melted down. That looked like nothing like the 2-time Stanley Cup finalists they were the last 2 years. They looked nothing like that team.
Now, you know what's crazy is Knobloch is now getting paid 3 years for not doing, and he doesn't have to do a single thing. Because before the season started, he signed a 3-year extension before the season started, and now they're firing him before his new contract even starts.
Yeah, they should have had that in the should have had it in the contract where we fire you, the contract extension doesn't work.
Yeah, you would think. And like I said earlier, Pat Verbeek was a finalist for the GM of the Year. Here are the other finalists. It's Bill Guerin from Minnesota and Chris McFarland for Colorado. I mean, I can understand Bill Guerin. You know, the Quinn Hughes trade. You know, the Michael McCarron trade looks pretty good too. I mean, I guess Chris McFarland, he did bring in like Kadri back and Nick Wabb. I don't know what else he really did to this team before the season started because it was almost like the same team. Are you still there? I don't know if you're. I don't know. Can
you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yes.
I don't know. I must have pressed a button when I was touching the mic. He did pick up Brent Burns in the offseason, right?
Yeah, but was that enough to register a GM of the year?
I don't know. I know who I would pick for the GM of the year.
Who would you pick?
The guy who built it from scratch.
Okay, so you're talking about Verbeek then.
I think he's really made some very strategic moves.
Yes.
Very impressed. I mean, getting Gauthier for an injured Drysdale, who's injured all the time. You know, even you look at he made the Trevor Zegras trade work.
Oh, I didn't even talk about that.
Paling, he's part of why you guys got where you are. And sometimes it's not, obviously Marner did show up for Vegas this year, but sometimes it's like that role player comes out and just has a great season or a great playoffs. Yeah. And I think Paling, and I even said it to you because you complained about it when the trade happened on our podcast. And I go, he's a really good defensive guy, something the Ducks don't play. Okay. And I go, and you might be surprised.
Did I not say it wasn't Paling? It was like, if it should have been,
you wanted more.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Like, I think everyone agreed with this. Yeah. It wasn't the trade. It was, it wasn't Paling. It was just like, okay, that's all we gave up Zegras for.
Yeah, but I think he turned out more than what he had been in the past. And, or maybe we just didn't notice it because we didn't play against him enough. But I find him to be a difference maker. I mean, to me, he's like, what was the guy for the Lakers? Kurt Rambis. Lakers win championships, don't win them without Kurt Rambis. Kurt Rambis just went in and did whatever he had to do to help them win. And it wasn't always a stat. You need players like that to win championships. And I think Paling, that actually hurt them. Obviously with getting hurt.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that in Game 5, it was Brady McNabb took a 5-minute major penalty and got a 10-game misconduct or 10-minute misconduct and got ejected for an interference call. And everyone says it was a soft. I was like, dude, he was so late and he did not slow down on that hit. That was a dirty play. And he, like I said, I could see. I wasn't saying, he should get 5 games. I was like, no, the ejection and the 1-game suspension was like, I'd say that's worth it for sure. Like, I didn't think he deserved a 5-game or anything like that. It was a dirty hit. He knew what he was doing, and he even if you watch the replay at one angle where you kind of see it, where it's like you're looking like you're on the left side of him pretty much, and you can kind of tell that Howden leaves his feet. His skates leave the ice, and you're not supposed to do that. Both of them leave the ice. So, like I said, it was a well-deserved ejection, well-deserved 1-game suspension. If they gave him 2, I'm like, okay, I can see it, but I thought 1 was good. Obviously it didn't hurt Vegas at all. Hurt the Ducks more than hurt Vegas. So, but like I said, and hopefully Ryan Paling's okay. Yeah. I believe they said it was an upper body injury. I totally forgot to talk about that. Sorry, it's been a hectic couple days.
I'm sure.
Before we move on, let's get to some comments. Southmade said Seneca should get an A shortly. I say in a couple more years, yes. Technically, Vegas pushed their own cheating ball down the hill first. I'll just keep it relevant. And he was making fun of you for muting yourself. You just started pushing buttons.
I'm glad.
Adam also said was already a heavy favorite to win the cup at the start of the season. Doesn't scream GM of the year for taking credit for a rocket ready already in the air. Yeah, I agree with that. And then Adam also says Howden looking like Chara out there. Well, Chara would just look, he could barely hit you, and it looks like he just like crushed you to a million pieces.
Well, let's
All
get back. Let's finish off the league news.
Okay.
Is it my turn or yours?
Your turn.
Bruins have signed forward Lucas Reichel to a 1-year, $950,000 contract extension.
All right, and the last bit of league news is the Canucks named Daniel and Henrik Sedin co-presidents of hockey operations, and Ryan Johnson as the general manager. Which I thought that's what I think the right move was for them, because I've heard a lot of good things about Ryan Johnson. He was the GM of the Abbotsford Canucks. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that. And let's just say if there was another GM job available somewhere else, he was probably going to be one of the favorites for that. So it's a good thing they probably kept him in the organization.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and then we're going to do a quick little ad read. I'll start it off. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a new customer offer. Bet player props, bet live from opening face-off to the final horn. Every moment matters. DraftKings Sportsbook, bet just $5 and you'll get $100 in bonus bets instantly.
Download DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN so you're ready for the moment. That code is THPN. Turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
All right. Well, also with the DraftKings, so today you have Buffalo Sabres versus Montreal Canadiens. The puck line for Buffalo Sabres is +1.5. That's at -180. The total over at 6.5. That's +105. And the money line, if you want the Buffalo Sabres to win, they're at +145. So
wow. I think Buffalo's done.
We'll see.
Montreal looks really good.
Okay, you're talking about that hit. Okay, I know. Okay, I know the one you're talking about now.
Who are you talking to?
Adam's comment. I was comparing the Paling hit to Chara and Pacioretty hit. Okay, I think I remember that one now. All right, and I totally took away my notes. There you are. Sorry about that. What are we going to? Playoff recap, because there's no games to predict.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
we could still predict today's game.
Well, yeah, we could. I'm just saying there's no Ducks games to predict.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Let's go to playoffs. NHL playoffs. All right, so since we last talked, I think we already knew that. I think Carolina already swept Philadelphia 4-0. It's funny. They finished 4 games for Carolina. So Carolina already won and went on to the Eastern Conference Final before Game 3 of Buffalo and Montreal. And right now, Montreal's up 3-2. And they're playing tonight. So if Montreal wins, they can play soon. The Western Conference Finals already set. As we already talked about, Vegas beat the Ducks 4-2. And Colorado came back in Game 5, 3-0, and won in overtime and won 4-1 against the Minnesota Wild. So it'll be Colorado versus Vegas.
I know it's a pun, but that was a wild comeback.
Yeah. So
I mean, 2 goals in the last two minutes of the third period.
Mm-hmm.
And then to win it in overtime. They're just scary good. The Avalanche are.
Yeah. I don't know. Do they have a schedule for? So game 1 for Golden Knights and Avalanche. The series starts in Colorado. That starts on Wednesday, May 20th. And
first game isn't until May 20th.
Yeah, that's what it says right here.
Wow.
So, because they want to make sure they have the conference finals set. They don't want to have, start the Western Conference final, and Carolina's been waiting for 3 weeks now. So they want to try to have them both starting around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. So Buffalo play tonight. That's game 6. If Buffalo wins, then they play Monday the 18th for game 7. Tonight's game is on ABC. Monday's game, if it's if necessary, that one will be on ESPN. Let's see, it doesn't have game schedule yet for the Eastern Conference Final, just because they don't know when it's going to start. So, yeah. So, all right, who do you think's winning between Buffalo and Montreal, and then Carolina, and then the winner of that?
I think Montreal will beat Buffalo.
Okay, and then who do you think wins between Montreal and Carolina?
Oh, that is so much tougher to pick.
Okay,
I think that's gonna go probably 7 games. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I just think Montreal has a way. I mean, they've been bad for so long, but they got a lot of talent now, and it's Suzuki had a breakout season this year.
Yeah,
but dang, Carolina's just been
8-0 in the postseason, the first team ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's saying something.
Yeah.
Could they do the 16-0?
No.
Probably not again. No. If they'll have to probably play the Avs. The Avs are gonna take out Vegas. Somebody.
Yeah, I think that one's gonna be either a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. So for the Colorado Vegas, if it's Montreal, Carolina, I say it's. I want to. I mean, I wasn't expecting Carolina to look this dominant in the playoffs. Like, I knew they were going to be good, but they're just playing dominant. And now all their players are, most of them are getting, healthy because they're not playing anything right now. It just makes me wonder, like, is this going to be rest or rust for them kind of thing now? Montreal's, playing well. I'm probably going to stick with my prediction. I'm going to have Montreal beating Carolina. I'm going to say 4-2. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, get off your phone. But
something funny is, we're going to get a girl MMA fight for people who've been retired. Rousey versus was it Gina Carino?
Yeah, the girl from The Mandalorian and Deadpool.
Did you know? I read. It was on ESPN. I'm sure I read it like yesterday or the day before. She, over the last 2.5 years, she's lost 120 pounds to make the 141 pound.
Rousey or
Carino.
Oh,
she was 240 pounds.
Wow.
Damn.
You really switched the subject.
Well, it just blew me away that they were even fighting, and that's Jake Paul trying to make some more money. I think it's his. He's putting on the fight. That guy turned in social media into. He's so rich he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, but all right. Carolina and Montreal, though. How many games is it going? If that's it,
I say 7.
7, and then Colorado and Vegas.
5.
5. So gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the Avalanche. I know you picked I'm going to pick Carolina.
Okay.
You'll probably get it because it's your year this year.
Yeah.
It's your year this year. But hey, one of us has got to be right?
Yeah. I was perfect in the playoffs for a while.
Yeah.
Predicting the Ducks games. I think I got all 6 right in the first round.
Yeah. Well,
and then just went to crap after that.
You lost the last 2.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam says Minnesota looking like the Ducks and the regular season, taking their foot off the gas pedal. USA all the way, but I can state the obvious that Dobish gear looks like they pulled him out of the beer leagues.
He played well, though. He's played very well.
And Carano, that's what I'd be watching over Buffalo and America Light. America Light. So, all right. Well,
Buffalo over America Light.
I know we had a couple questions. Let me try to find it. Hold on. All right. Let's see. From Chasing Dreams on Instagram, he says, "Who do you want the Ducks to re-sign, and who do you want to see walk?" All right. Obviously, re-sign Leo Carlsson, re-sign Cutter, re-sign Pavel Minchkov, re-sign Zellweger. They're all RFAs. They need they need contracts. Let's see. Now it's the UFAs. Let me pull up who are UFAs now.
What, Gudis?
Let's see. Ross Johnson is a UFA. Jeffrey VL and Harkins are UFAs. I say only sign John Carlsson on defense. Let Trouba and all right, it depends on the price for Trouba. If Trouba is willing to take like 3 or 4, I would say 2 or 3 year deal at like 3 or 4 million, maybe keep him. Carlson, John Carlson, if we can get him like 2 years, 6.5, yes. Let Radko Gudis walk. Goalies were good because we have Dostal signed long term. Billy Huso's on his last year, so Huso will be our full-time backup next year. Let's see. I like Harkins, but I think it's just time maybe just to bring in some of the young guns down in San Diego. It's tough because I like what Johnston brought, but maybe it's just time for a new leaf. And same with VL.
Was that a Matthews thing? A new leaf?
Oh,
you said
no.
Okay.
No, that's not what it meant to be.
I would straight trade up Ross Johnson for Matthews, Austin Matthews in a second.
What kind of trade is that with Toronto though?
I don't. Hey, they'll get tougher.
Yeah,
a little silliness with our podcast.
Yeah, seriously. How about this? We'll trade them Ross Johnston, Jansen Harkins, and Jeffrey VL for Matthews and Nylander.
What's that?
We'll trade Ross Johnston, Jansen Harkins and Jeffrey VL to Toronto, and in return, the Ducks get William Nylander and Austin Matthews. Fair trade.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. How about all right? So
we'll
this is what
trade
Adam
you.
says.
We'll trade you the retiring Kopitar for Leo Carlsson and Cutter Gauthier. Fair trade.
Ooh, pass. Adam says Trouba 3-year deal with the team option for the third year, less than $5 million a year. I would say less than 4. But five might be where it's. I see what you're saying. I think 5 is going to be closer to that. If we get rid of Johnston, then we can bring in Brady. Then bring Brady in, muscle for muscle. Keep Harkins, dish MacT. All right. So in all honesty, that I think what I would do is, I hate to say this, probably do. I would trade Mason McTavish, Olin Zellweger, and our 2027 first-round pick for Robert Thomas. And then I don't know if we have anything else to bring in Brady, but if we did that, then keep Johnston and Harkins. Or it's either you got to keep either VL or Johnston. I don't think there's room for both. Paling's signed long-term now. Troy Terry's long-term. MacT's long-term. We have Killorn and Kreider for 1 more year. Seneca still has 2 more years on his ELC. I mean, you can always bring up Roger McQueen next year too. That can help on the winger depth or the center depth that we need.
Yeah, if he's ready.
Yeah, but I think for defense, I think we're, like I said, you can't sign all 3, Gudis, Trouba, or John Carlson. You can't sign all 3. So, and they're making $20 million between the 3 of them right now. So I just can't see it be, because we got to sign Minty and Zellweger to new deals. But like I said, I could see one of Zellweger and Minty being in the trade this offseason with MacT to bring in someone. Like I could see like a McTavish, Zellweger, and a first round for Brady or Thomas, like that, for Brady Tkachuk or Robert Thomas. Like that's what I see.
Yeah, we'll
so
see. It's going to be fun to see what happens during this offseason. It's going to be a big offseason for a lot of things.
Johnston, Brady, and Granlund for a 4th line murder line. Yeah, if we're bringing in Brady Tkachuk, he's not going to be on the 4th line, though. That would be a good 3rd line. I would take that as a 3rd line. Because you can always you can do Leo, Terry, Cutter, and then 2nd line do McQueen, Seneca, Killorn. 3rd line, Johnston, Brady, and Granlund. 4th line, Washi, Paling, VL, or Harkins. So, but I don't even think having Brady on the 3rd line is doing him justice. He'd be 1st line or 2nd line. And maybe having him with Roger McQueen might help too.
Oh, Roger McQueen, center, 1st line. Leo Carlson,
no,
2nd line.
No, Leo's number 1 line. We know that. And he proved that this year. And please work on faceoffs. Leo, McTavish, all needed. I'm joking in the sense of 4th line fighting line, bring back 90s hockey. Well, if we're going to do that, just throw on Johnston and VL on 1 line too. Oh, that would be funny. I forgot who else likes to fight. Oh, Frank Vetrano. Throw Vetrano on the 4th line with VL and Johnston. That would really stir up a lot of problems for teams. But all right, anything else before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
I don't see any.
Going to have an interesting offseason this year, everyone.
Yeah. So
start sending us your ideas of what you think our team should do.
I'm trying to think. Are there ways I could look up who's available for coaches? I mean, there's Cassidy. There's Laviolette, Knobloch now.
Yeah.
McQueen, Adam says McQueen over Leo is just as delusional as Byfield, but being overrated. Yeah, I don't think McQueen's going to be as good as Carlsson, but it's going to be McQueen's going to be a great 2C. Leo is just he's the franchise for the Ducks right now. Oh, not being overrated. A lot of typos today, Adam. I've noticed.
He likes to pick on. He likes to pick on poor Byfield.
Yeah, but all right. So
you'd take him if he had to go against McDavid all the time because he shut him down. He plays great defense. He may not be the offensive guy they expected, but he is definitely a very good defensive player.
You know who also shut down McDavid?
His back.
Washi, VL. I forgot who else was on that line. And Moore.
You know what? I like Washi.
I do too. The Washi machine.
Yeah, I liked him. So
I like him too. So agreed. But I'm trying to think of other coaches that are available that you guys could look at.
Well, there's a lot of guys in college.
Well, there's Berube too. Berube's now available.
Yeah, Berube. They talked about the guy from Western Michigan.
Oh,
but he's
Lacombe shut down McJesus too. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, McJesus wasn't healthy. I don't know if he was healthy. He would have shut him down completely. He did a good job against him. I agree. But I don't think anybody really totally shuts him down when he really wants to go. Almost everybody needs a little help. Even Byfield had help. So
yeah. Well, it's crazy because the Ducks have $40 million to spend. But, I mean, I think half of that is going to be on Leo and Cutter alone.
Yeah. With all the young talent they have, they're going to if they're all going to be really good, it's going to be tough to keep them all together.
Yeah. So I think that's already half gone. And then, like I said, they got it. Like I said, if they trade McTavish and Zellweger in a first round pick, maybe a first and a second, and then bring in Brady or Thomas, I'm probably leaning more towards Robert Thomas, and that might help. That will save some salary cap too, because Thomas is locked in at 8.1. Zellweger's going to cost you alone probably $3 or $4 million a year, and McTavish is already at 7, so you're saving almost $3 million right there, and you're bringing in a good 2C. So I could see that happening.
Well, we'll see what happens. It'll be exciting to see. The offseason is always full of craziness with the draft and then free agency and all that stuff. So
Adam says, I think Leo and Cutter will be paid more than Lacombe, probably close to 14 mil. Wait, are you talking about combined or each of them? Because I think Leo's probably getting 10.5 at least a year for 8 years or more. And Cutter, I could see him getting 8.5 to 9 a year.
He was the leading scorer on the team this year.
Cutter? Yeah. Oh.
And you're going to give him less? And he had over 40 goals.
He also played more games than Leo, too.
Because he was healthier.
Yeah. But, okay. But I think
they're going to be really close in price.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Before we close out, I forgot. I should have said this at the very beginning. So the whole, remember that I talked about the tickets being stolen?
Yeah.
So I called Ticketmaster, and They said it was going to take 3 to 5 business days, and this was like the day after the event in Game 6. But so they said it was going to be 3 to 5 business days. Didn't hear back from any of them from Ticketmaster. So I called 714 Tickets again, just, because that's where I bought the tickets to start with. So I just went back to the source. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Bradley and Alejandra at 714 Tickets. Bradley took down all the information that I gave him. Because I was able to go back to my Ticketmaster account and kind of screenshot the tickets were transferred to this Michael Fletcher person. And it even showed, like, I guess their Ticketmaster ID number.
Yeah.
I forgot a picture today. I don't know. What? And so he was able to look out, and he found, because normally when you transfer tickets, you get an email saying like, "Oh, Cody, you successfully transferred tickets to Gary." How like we've gone to games and
Yeah.
and I'll get an email saying like, "Oh, your tickets were successfully transferred." Well, I never got that email at all. So when my tickets were transferred to this Michael Fletcher, I never authorized a transfer. And so they were able to go in. Thank you to Bradley from 714 Tickets. What he did in less than 24 hours, Ticketmaster still hasn't done anything about any of that. And he was able to give my friend AJ his full refund. They found the fraud. They found that it was hacked or whatever happened. It was all on Ticketmaster's end too. So this had nothing to do with 714 Tickets, but he was able to get in contact with Ticketmaster and fix everything and give my friend his money back, full refund.
That's good. So
I just want to say huge shout out to 714 Tickets. I hope we can work with them in the future. Because like I said, they've been a part of my life a lot longer than they probably even know, because of all the commercials for Roger Lodge and everything like that. So that's all we would listen to in the morning. So
sorry.
No, it's fine. Like I said, but like my buddy was able to get a full refund back and everything. So I was super happy that they were able to do that. Like I said, it wasn't even their fault, their issue, and they made it happen. So I just want to say a huge shout out to 714 Tickets for fixing the issue and getting my buddy his full refund back on that. And like I said, it took the guy less than 24 hours to fix the problem, and Ticketmaster still hasn't done anything. So
shout out 714 Tickets.
Yeah, so thank you to Alejandra and Bradley. They were both. I talked to Alejandra and Bradley that day of the game. They were helping me try to go through everything. Like I said, they were great. And like I said, I know it was harder for them to try to figure out everything like right there at the moment. But like I said, it less than 24 hours, Bradley fixed the problem and he was able to give a full refund to my friend again. So. Like I said, that was just great customer service. So, like I said, I'd love to work with 714 in the future for this podcast. So, what picture are you talking about, Adam? The night's post game photo. Which one was that? I don't know which one that is, but But while Adam clues me in on this, or if you have it, send it to me in text message or email, and then I can add it in real quick while we're waiting for Adam to let me know what's going on. Everyone, please follow. He just texted me. This one. Oh, right, this one. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can. That's right. So let's see. Is it here? It is. That's right. All right. Let's see. Can I download? No. All right, we'll do this instead. We're gonna go here, share screen. So Adam says this is AI. I don't believe him that this is AI. I think this is 100% true. But here is the photo that he's talking about. Yeah, he sent this to me on Instagram. And what did I say? Wait, it was on this account. No, it was on the other one. Let's see. No, hold on. Yeah, so he sent me this, and I was like, bro, this is 100% real. He said, I made it with Chat GTP. Tonight's game was terrible. I'm like, nah, that ain't AI. I don't believe you. Trust me. I was there at the game. I know. He said, that's not stoned with the C. Clearly AI, but still a true statement, and you're welcome. Use it on Saturday. And I was like, still don't believe you. I'm like, I'll use it on Saturday for sure. So like I said, I almost forgot. But honestly, this was pretty spot on. I guess ESPN and the refs and the networks were all over Vegas. And this is not AI.
Okay.
So
I'm not getting in trouble for this. You are.
There you go. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let me. Wait, what's going on? I don't know what I'm doing now.
I don't know what you're doing either.
Here. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm new to the internet.
I can see that.
But thank you. Okay, thank you, Adam. I almost forgot about that. But thank you everyone for tuning into episode 112 of Royally Quacked. Please go follow us on all social media at Royally Quacked. And if you have any questions or comments or hot takes, you can always email us at royallyquacked@gmail.com. Also, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. It means the world to us, and it really helps the channel if you hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the like button, as Adam always says, like Spike. So please hit the like button. We appreciate it. You'll see more real photos, not AI photos, of the Vegas Golden Knights buying off the refs. And like I said, and thank you everyone for tuning in for Royally Quack for another great season. I said, I know Kings fans, I know
season 3,
where both of our teams made the playoffs this year. This is the first time we really quacked where that happened, and
you froze, Cody.
Almost 2 years came true.
Oh, yeah, you
Are we
froze there. You were froze on my end.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear you. I didn't know. I didn't hear anything he said. So
what'd you last hear?
You were frozen. You were gonna just talk about how you made the prediction that they would win the second round game of fucking Kings.
Yeah. So,
I already knew what was coming out of your mouth.
Yes. So that, and this channel's grown so much, this in the last couple of years. So we want to thank everyone for that. Oh, there's little Stella.
Stella's a Kings fan, unfortunately. No, unfortunately.
I think I'm getting hacked by ESPN because I was talking bad about them, as Adam said.
I bet.
If you see me no, I'm just kidding. ESPN got me. I'm just kidding. Anyways, thank you everyone. Please, if you listen on audio, please follow, leave a rating or review. Please, it would really help the channel out. I love the comment. I'm not going to put that on the screen, but I completely agree with you, David. I completely agree with you. Finally, something cute on the podcast. I'll put that on the screen. Trust me, David, I want to put your comment out there, but just for everyone's sakes, I'm going to just leave that off. But I completely agree. I don't know. Can you see it, Dad?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to be in trouble.
I don't want to be in trouble
right,
either.
Stella?
But I agree with you.
Right,
I
Stella?
agree with you, David Rosca. So I 100% agree. So, well, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. Like I said, like, subscribe. I'll text it to you, Adam. And I know you'll 100% agree with it too. I'll screenshot. I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you right now after I get off. So thank you everyone for tuning into episode 112 of Royally Quacked. We'll see you guys next week. And until then, let's go Ducks.
Go Kings, go.
A father and son, a bond so strong, talking hockey all day long. Royally Quacked, their podcast show, sharing stories, highs and lows. From the Kings to the Ducks, they go.